Hey everybody, it's Corey's Reviews. Today I'm kind of excited because I get to review a product that I know a lot about, but I've never actually had my hands on it to actually give it a shakedown, see what it's all about. So today I'm going to be reviewing the Nikon D3100. This is the kit. So a little history about this. This is where I got this. I've been into photography for a while now, and I had a friend come to me almost a year ago and say, what kind of camera should I get? Start asking me a lot of questions. This had just come out about a year ago. I recommended this because I'm a Nikon fan, so I don't know a whole lot about Canons. Canon makes great stuff as well as many other manufacturers, but I'm a Nikon user, so I recommended this because this is their entry-level camera. And told him, you know, this is the latest and greatest. So he went out and got it, and he's been learning ever since. I've been helping him along the way, and so I asked him to bring over his kit so maybe I could do a review on it. And basically, I just wanted to get my hands on it and see what it's all about. So let's go ahead and open this guy up. Now I put everything in here. So we got all your manuals. You got your Nikon software. From what I hear, it's not too bad. I use Adobe products for my editing, but from what I understand, Nikon software, I mean, it does the trick too, so I never actually played with it, so it does come with that. Alright, what box here? Oh, lens, alright. So this is your kit lens. This is the Nikon 18 to 55, 3.5 to 5.6. I'll do a separate review on this, but for this review I'll be using this lens since this is what the kit comes with. This model has the VR, vibration reduction. So see how that works. Alright, so here is the D3100. So first impressions is it's very small and very, very light, so that's pretty cool. I don't know about it being small. I use right now a D7000. That's actually what this video is being recorded on, and it's quite a bit larger and heavier. So this, I wouldn't say it feels like a toy, but it's definitely less than half the weight of that camera. But overall, it seems like it's built very, very nice. See, so you got one door for an SD card, one SD card, and on the bottom you got your battery compartment, so we'll throw that bad boy in. So previous to the camera I have now, I had a Nikon D40 and a D40X, which is about 3 generations away from this. Very good cameras, very good starter cameras. I would actually recommend those today if you're just getting into it, because you can get those used for maybe like 200 bucks or so, maybe 250. This one I'd say is actually smaller than those. So we'll go ahead and throw the lens on it. So basically you got your manual modes over here. You got your manual mode, your aperture priority, your shutter priority, and your program mode, which is basically auto, but it just helps your camera, gives you alternative settings. And then this is a new dial. We got another lever right here. So you got single frame, you got continuous frame, you got your timer, and you got a quiet mode. I'm familiar with quiet mode. Quiet mode basically just means like if you're in a church setting or something, you can press the shutter down and it's not going to release that shutter until you take your finger back off, so you can actually control how much noise it makes. But overall, it looks like you got all your basic settings. Got your live view. Don't have a memory card in here, but so you can do your live view and then go into your recording. This does 1080p for 24 frames a second, which isn't too bad. It's not, you know, class leading. It doesn't go up to like 60 frames per second, which is like most video cameras do. That's like more fluid range. But 24 frames a second isn't too bad because that's like what your normal Hollywood movies are shot at. So it's going to have that cinematic look, but it's not going to have ultra smooth flowing video of the 60 frames. So, but not too bad for an entry level, I would say. So let me see here. You got an extra function button right here, get your flash button right here, all pretty standard. And you got all your other buttons like play, menu, how to get in all your settings, this, and that. Looks like there's a port for HDMI, so you can play your videos or your pictures onto a large screen TV. You could probably use that once in the entire life you have your camera. It's kind of a gimmicky thing just in case you're at a party and people want to see your videos or shots right out of the camera. But this is like, you're getting into professional photography, or with these kind of cameras, you really don't kind of do that kind of stuff because you're going to probably, just keep it in the camera and edit it all later before you let anybody see it. But it's there in case you need it. It's got a port for your GPS and a port for your USB in case you just want to hook this straight up to your computer and download it that way. The GPS is cool because you can get an adapter that'll basically give you coordinates for wherever you take a pictures, so you can kind of track where you've been. So that's about it for hands-on. I really like it. Because it's small and light. This would be great for vacationing. Might be actually a little bit too small for professional photography just because you got such a small body, and if you start putting big lens on there, it might start getting a little off balance, a little awkward. But as far as, just doing some casual shooting, you can wear this all day and not even know it's there. So I like that a lot. And let me see, I pulled up a couple stats, see what's a little bit new and different. So this has got, obviously this is the DX format, so this is a crop sensor. Nikon uses a 1.5 times crop sensor. And this one's got 14.2 megapixels with the CMOS sensor. CMOS is good for low noise, and it's also going to probably help you out with your videos. Those are a little bit better than CCD as far as video goes. There's a debate on which is better, but I'm sure it's a very good sensor. 14.2 megapixels, that's a ton. I think everybody's pretty much clued into the megapixel myth. If you got more than 5-6 megapixels, you're never going to notice unless you're making like poster size images, and even then it's not that big of a deal. So 14.2, that's a ton. You're going to be able to take some pictures. If it doesn't turn out the way you want, you can always crop them down just to get the scene you want. Personally, I don't think that's a good way to do it. You should just get it right the first time. Check through your images. If you didn't get it, then try taking it again, because when you crop down, you're going to lose resolution. But 14.2, I mean, you can always save a few pictures with that many megapixels, so that's a good thing. This has got the new X-Speed 2 imaging processor in it. Basically, that's Nikon's newest chip inside here. It basically just makes it a lot faster, helps process your noise better so your images look cleaner, and basically runs the whole camera a lot faster than like some of the old ones, so you're not waiting for things to get processed and missing shots. So it's always nice to have the newest process in there. So you got an ISO range of 100 to 3200, expandable up to 12,800. Okay, well, the expandable up to 12,800, that's a marketing gimmick. There's absolutely no way you can use any of those images at that high, even at black and white. Like literally, if you got an image that you need, like you're shooting in the pitch black, the only way you're gonna wanna use that, I mean, if you're out in the middle of the desert and you see an alien walking around and the only way to get a picture of that alien or something like that is to take it at that high of ISO, then all means do it, but you'll never use it at that high. It's just for basically putting on a box, because it's going to be really grainy and pixelated and noisy and a lot of fringing. It's going to look pretty bad. I'd say this is going to be pretty good from about, or at least from what I read, from about 100 all the way to 800 ISO, which is pretty high. It's gonna be nice and clean. You could probably push it to 1600. You're gonna start noticing some grain. 3200 even more so, but you could probably get away with it if you actually had to. But you should always try adjusting your other settings to get the ISO at least down below 800, 400. You know, the closer you get to 1 to 200 ISO, depending on your scene, is going to be more ideal for sharpness and to make sure that picture is more accurate to the actual scene that you were shooting. But that's pretty good. That's actually up over the last generations by about 1 stop. So the latest, or the old cameras that were out before these generations of the 3100 and the D7000, you know, they were maxing out about 800 to 1600 before you could even use them. So this is about 1 step up on them. So that's nice. So we got, like I said, you got your full HD in 24 frames, not too bad. The only bad part about the 3100 is you can't put an external mic in. So it's got 11-point autofocus on here. That's up from the last generation, where it was only 3, so that's actually pretty good. So all in all, I really like this 3100. It's light, really small, compact. It's a great way to jump into, you know, photography with a DSLR. You can take the interchangeable lenses and start, you know, broaden your horizons with this. This would be a great way. These are starting out about 600 bucks. It's pretty reasonable for DSLR. And with the performance that this thing's putting out, I highly recommend it. It's nice to have my hands on it and see what it's all about. I'm sure it's going to, you know, be out for a long time before this gets replaced. Maybe another year before this one starts getting replaced, and then you know, these will start going down in value. Otherwise, you can pick up some of the predecessors. I would not recommend the D3000 because it didn't have some problems, but there's some features that it was lacking. But I definitely like my D40 and D40X. They're excellent cameras. About the same size as this, not nearly as many features though. But if you really want to go on the cheap, you can get them about for $250, and it's going to work very similar. Unless you can afford to step up to this and jump right into this, and then once you get wore out or the next greatest things come out, unload this and go get an upgrade that'll serve you. But just make sure you're ready for that upgrade. Just don't go spending money that you don't need to just because it's bigger and greater. Make sure that you actually need the newer functions on the bigger camera. Otherwise, any professional could get away with this and pretty much pull off any shoot, even though this is an amateur camera. You just got to work a little more to get through some of the menus, and that, you know, and the size is a little bit too small for professional stuff because you need a little bit more, you know, weight and size to keep everything steady and put all your functions on there. But all in all, this is a great amateur camera, and I recommend it. So go down to, say, Best Buy, and I even think like Target even sells these, or maybe even Costco. Get your hands on them, take a look around, look at some of the other manufacturers, because like I said, Canon makes great DSLRs, Sony makes them, Pentax makes them. Certain people like certain other things. Once you're used to a certain setup though, you start getting loyal to the brand. So I'm a Nikon guy and I really like these Nikons, so definitely go check them out. That's about all I got for this review. You can go ahead and subscribe if you like these reviews. I'm going to keep them coming. I'm going to have a couple more coming up about some Nikon stuff, so stay tuned. This is Corey Reviews, and we'll see you.